everybody. Welcome back to BRB Gaming. You're here with me, Thor.
Stubborn Pixel.
And today we're talking about a few things going on in the Retro Handhelds community. We've got some pretty good news going on as far as the conversion of a couple of Discord servers, some upcoming ROMs, and some upcoming operating systems for maybe your favorite handheld.
Absolutely. And I wanted to start off today with talking a little bit about life and death. Boys and girls, dear listeners. Before getting on the podcast tonight, my dear lady and I, Chthonics, were driving down the freeway with one of our youngins. Just dropped off our other youngin to my ex's house. And there was a lady in front of us. She was running behind schedule to a wedding. She was not paying attention. And she slammed on her brakes too fast because someone jumped in front of her. Our life flashed before our eyes as Chthonics luckily slammed on the brakes just in time. We slammed into the back without leaving a scratch, apparently. We get out. License plate's a bit muffed. Lady's fine. But we thought we were going to slam into this lady about 50 miles an hour. So we just were like, we had to take a minute. And our lives flashed before our eyes. Like we're like, oh my God. And I thought about my life up to this point, and then I really thought, okay, we need to get a unified Android ROM working with a sweet front end that is easy to use, like 351 elec. And we need to get it on the RP2, the 351, and all those Powkitty devices. I have too much left to do in this life to be killed by late wedding lady. Okay? All right. And I will not let death stop me from finishing this project. So Thor and I are...
Yeah, I'm sorry, dude. That was so serious. I'm sitting here going, oh my God, because he didn't say shit to me, right? He didn't tell me about any of this. Oh my gosh, dude, you had me going there like...
It's a true story.
I believe it happened, but
I had my 351M in my hands as this happened. I was playing Dino Crisis 2 because it's a game of the month for the Retroid, which is now, we'll talk about that, the Retro server. And, it's been a week of life and death, and that seems like the theme that I want to talk about. Here's another story for you. I got this new Samsung Active 2 watch. I'm trying to, get a little more healthy, so I'm doing my ellipsis running and kind of getting back in shape. Well, it has an ECG and echocardiogram feature. You put your finger on there, and it'll tell you if you're having like weird, atrial fibrillation events. It can detect if you're possibly maybe going to die of a heart attack or something. So I'm like trying the feature out. I had been running, and I bumped my arm as I was taking the reading, and I didn't realize that was a bad thing. So it told me I was dying and that my heart rhythm was fucked. And I was like, then it sent me to a panic, which made me feel, chest pains, made me feel numbness, it freaked me out, like legit. And we were watching Yellowstone, so my heart was already racing. Great show, Kevin Costner. We finished it. Season 4, here we come, baby.
Let's go.
And so I was like 10 o'clock at night on a work night. I'm like, Chthonics, you got to drive me to the hospital. Like, I think my heart's failing. Like the watch says that. Look at the symptoms. Like I'm fucked. Like we drive to the ER. Thor and I are DMing about emulation. And
is that what you were up to?
Yeah. And I was telling him, like, I think I'm dying, but in case I'm not, like, I just want to get these final thoughts like on the project board for some of the stuff we've been working on. And I feel
like having an ECG on a smartwatch is way worse than Googling your shit on WebMD or something like that.
It's way worse. And like I'm sitting there, I take a pill to help calm me down. I just a little bit of to be vulnerable with dear listeners. I do anxiety, social anxiety, all that stuff. So I every once in a while have to take my medication to chill me out. And as I'm chilling out, I'm sitting in the ER watching actual people walking in to get their lives saved, people walking out crying for their loved ones who maybe passed away or going through something. And I'm like, I think I'm okay. And they're the ones in an emergency, in a crisis. It's been like an hour now. My heart rate seems steady. Taking the ECG keeps telling me funky readings. And I look up how to use the thing, and it's like, stay 100% still. Do not move an inch. Do not breathe for a full 30 seconds when you're taking your ECG. Otherwise, it will be false readings, and it will freak you out. And people on like Samsung forums are like, doctors are writing on Reddit, like, please stop. Please stop coming to the hospital. Okay, you got to learn how to use your watch. There's people here that are sick. And
you're not sick. It's user error. Come on.
Yeah, user error. I will always take health stuff very seriously, but it's just interesting how this technology works and often overburdens us in ways that we haven't foreseen yet. Like, that's now an added stress. Like, I'm afraid to touch this thing again. But I tried it sitting still, and it said I had a regular sinus rhythm, that everything's okay. Mm-hmm. I'm fine. So we go home, tell Thor I'll be fine. And I just feel like I have a lot of work left to do in this lifetime, and just makes me feel so grateful for being alive, having a healthy family, healthy kids, healthy friends. And I'm just grateful for you all. Not to get over serious with everybody, but man, couple scares this week. So lastly, just wanted to say that you guys are the best, and we are here to give you the very best in emulation talk, dadding, momming, and podcasting. So with that, Thor, what's going on in your week?
Oh, nothing major. Just, completely rebranding a Discord server with thousands of users, starting up a new operating system project with you, just the normal, starting a bunch of fires and then going, why is everything on fucking fire? This the standard.
Like, why are we changing everything around? Everything works fine. Yeah, but.
Well, we're changing everything around. I think one of the big parts right now, because we run the Retro Handheld server, as a lot of you probably know.
Yeah.
And Retroid, the RP3 isn't anywhere on the horizon so far. So the big thought was, and we've been talking about this for months, is pivoting to something a little more multi-platform,
Yeah.
We've got a really good mod team. We've got a really good admin team. And we've been discussing going more broad spectrum handhelds, retro gaming, that kind of stuff for quite a while. And with the thousands of users that we have, we're finally pulling the trigger on that. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And no time like the present right now. I mean, our user base is nearly 6,000 people, which is crazy for a very little niche handheld server.
Right.
Focused on Retroid Pockets. And Retroid, the hype has died down for the Retroid Pocket 2, and it's still growing. So it's like, you know what? Let's take this opportunity. Yep. We love talking about other systems, other handhelds. And if the community embraces it, let's go with it.
Yeah.
And so far, yeah.
Everybody seems excited. We pretty much relegated talk about any other handheld besides the RP1 and RP2 to a single chat,
Right.
Which honestly, I did feel like it slowed the conversation down quite a bit, but it was the Retroid server. So now we're pivoting to that broad spectrum, and every major retro emulation device manufacturer is going to have its own subset. There's going to be chats for whatever the current devices are. Mm-hmm. We're probably not going to put up a bunch of stuff for like devices that came out 5 years ago and stuff like that. But another part is I really would like it if we could get a lot of the developers for all these operating systems, for all these devices, together in one place and working together, putting their heads together instead of, going out and just doing their own thing and not having any support.
Right. Yeah. And I think if we all put our heads together at this, we can really support the community, help it grow. Retro emulation is not going away. And
no, it's not.
And if it's staying here, and if we're going to continue to have these third-party handhelds getting released from around the world, let's make the very best hub, central place to talk about them that we possibly can. Let's put all of our eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
Let's get people stoked. Let's bring in some devs. Let's bring in the YouTubers. Let's bring in the manufacturers. Let's partner with them. Let's talk to them like we did with Retroid.
Right.
Bring in our contact in Burnick. Bring in our
yep.
Find someone in Powkitty. because man, their RGB 10 Max is it looks beautiful, and I can't wait for it to arrive.
I'm so excited. It's another month out before I think mine ships.
Pitter patter.
Oh my goodness,
man!
I'm going to load it up. I'm probably going to put ARC or 351 on it
because. Well, you've been talking about having a 5-inch device, 5-inch
yes,
screen.
the 5-inch screen with 5 gigahertz has been the big goal for all of this. My big entry was the Retroid Pocket 2, as you well know.
Yep.
And it's an awesome device. It's a lot of fun. The build quality is great. It has a lot of really cool stuff going for it, but it's missing out on a couple pretty key features, especially if you're going to be running Android on something like this. If you're going to be running Android, then people are going to want to play their Steam games. They're going to want xCloud. They may even want Stadia, you know?
Right.
They need that 5 gigahertz. They need that high-speed Wi-Fi chip in it. And they need clickable L3 and R3 sticks. And those are just things that the RP2 didn't have. Now, I have hopes for the RP3, but we have so many devices that are coming out in the near future.
Which, you know, it's going to have the P60 Helio in there.
Most likely. That's what it's looking like. It's going to have the Helio. Man, that's so. I'm so. Taki put up a thing. Taki put up a screenshot of it and it had Retroid's Toolbox app on it on the TRDR.
Yeah,
which is their proprietary. That's their proprietary like management software. So I mean, who knows if it I'm waiting for YouTubers to like open the fucking thing up, open a TRDR up because nobody has them in hand yet, right? I'm waiting for them to open it up to see if it actually does have that Helio P60 in it, you know? So
it looks horrible, but the
insides looks so silly.
The insides are godlike.
I mean, that's P60 can do some GameCube, man.
Yeah, it's true. I'm not going to argue it. I'm not going to fight against it. I'm going to embrace it. I just hope it comes out with some other branding.
Yeah,
a different form in a landscape form. So,
well, we got that. And then major hype on the 199 front. All right.
Right. Which we started up. We started up a 199 subreddit. It's r/199 handhelds, by the way. Mm-hmm. So a little place to early hype it up. It's not just in a Discord server. I don't know. It's going to be probably called something else, by the way. But supposedly the what do you call it? The Indiegogo campaign is going up this month. So we'll see.
We'll see. It was supposed to go up in February, but with the Rona, you know, everything is delayed. Everything
is delayed. And I got the spec sheet up. I'm actually going to send this to you, Thor. I don't know if you've seen this yet. Somebody, I believe his name was Perpetual Progress on Taki's Discord, made this very comprehensive spreadsheet.
Oh yeah, I've had that bookmarked for like 6 months.
For a while. Like it seems to be updated on the daily, and it's all the handhelds, all the rumors, all the specs, all the ones that are now defunct on another tab here.
Yeah.
I'll try to remember to post it in the episode description, but this thing is awesome. And I thought the 199 was going to be this clamshell device, which is still on the spreadsheet here. It could be coming out, but I'm wondering if it's just sort of a teaser for the 199 that they completely abandoned.
Which device were you talking about?
It's line 20 there.
Line 20.
So it's the clamshell. Kind of looks like what do you call that? Like a
DS, like a 3DS.
Yeah, kind of like a 3DS.
Yeah. I'm not a clamshell guy personally.
Oh no, yeah, garbage.
That's not my thing. I want that big front screen. I really liked the Switch's original design, and that's why I like the RP2. You know,
yeah.
Like right now, you have the RG351M, okay, which is what I have. You know, and you have one, and you have an RG351V. Which one do you prefer, my friend? Be real.
You're not gonna like my answer.
Not gonna like it? You like the V better?
I design-wise love the M, and it has that second analog stick.
Yeah.
I love the M. It feels very good, but I noticed my hands start to cramp up at about the 1 hour mark.
Erases everything just said.
Yeah. Well, I know, but the V here, man. The V, my hand doesn't.
So good looking.
It does 640 by 480. My hand doesn't cramp up on this, but it makes me so pissed off because I'm like, oh, I don't want a DMG handheld. Like, that's not my style. I like having the landscape. I like it so much more. Why do my grizzly hands get cramped up on such a beautiful piece of hardware? So I'm wondering though if a 5-inch form factor is the sweet spot for me.
Well, we've got the RGB 10 Max coming, man. It's
True.
It's going to be
You
heinous.
Do you got one on the way too?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And I've been bugging a few devs about it, whether or not they're going to continue their Linux-based operating systems onto the RGB 10. And
Mr. No Time, right?
Well, no, not even No Time and Turtle and me. But I talked with Christian from ArcOS.
Oh yeah.
He said he has some intention for ArcOS to continue on in the RGB 10 Max because he was such a big fan of the RGB 10.
Yep.
So, which I totally get. That's another great one. But that 10 Max though.
Second joystick, 5-inch screen.
Yeah.
Is it? I'm wondering if it's a touchscreen. I don't think it is.
I don't think it is. But it's got the 5 gigahertz, man.
5 gigahertz. That's insane.
Yeah.
You can finally do some Stadia streaming. You can do your Moonlight. You can do all that stuff.
Yeah.
Amazon Luna, which makes me think that we really can talk more about modern gaming around the server because people are going to be playing modern games now on devices.
Oh, absolutely.
Like this. And it's finally viable.
Especially with a lot of with one of our
secret projects.
Let's talk about it. We'll talk about it in a minute. Especially with that project, people are going to be able to play modern apps on these older handhelds. I shouldn't say older, but on these handhelds that Android wasn't available on before. Right.
And that'll be interesting because you marry this beautiful hardware design with the best possible software that supposedly has a big performance bump, a decent performance bump over Linux. So why not embrace it fully?
Well, a lot of people are new to Android in general. You know, we had that with the RP2. A lot of people just don't understand how the system works because they've all had iPhones or whatever for forever. Right. And there are a lot of Mac users, and a lot of this users, a lot of that users, and as popular as Android is, a lot of people just don't understand it, which I totally get. This is going to change that, what we're working on. We're working on a custom ROM project right now, the brand new front end. We're baking in emulation into the system. It's going to have a bunch of accessibility options, and it's just going to be great. It's an Android ROM that you'll be able to load up on just about any device.
Yes,
and it will auto configure. It'll have built-in scraping. It's going to be great. I'm very excited.
I am very excited too, and the little dev team that we sort of have going from across the community. I am so excited to get everybody involved in this and just have it take off. Thor, you're kind of spearheading the project. I'm happily filling in as a project manager for you.
You are, man. You're doing a great job. I wake up pretty much every morning to 20 or 30 messages in my DMs from Stubbs saying, hey, we did this. Hey, I did this. Hey, I invited this guy. Here's this developer. I think this guy would be good. And so I'm sitting here like waking up and then vetting everybody, you know? And then sending DMs, hey, do you have any interest in blah, 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 blah? And literally everybody I talk to is like, oh my God, that sounds awesome. Let's do this. You know,
it sounds
literally everybody.
Yeah. Well, it's fun. Like, you know, and it's all paying homage to things like 351 Elec and ArcOS, like the top tier of the 351 operating system of really any operating system available on any of these retro handhelds. I gotta say, how can we do this on a Retroid Pocket 2? You can't direct port it. We don't have anything. All we have is these various front ends, which some of them are fucking awesome. Yeah. Yes, but you still got to configure them. You still got to go through scraping. You still got to set up all these configurations. And then you got to deal with the fact that you have the Android operating system to fool around with, and you got to flip to mouse mode, and it's a mess. So,
well, Android definitely comes with its own hurdles, you know. It's a pain in the butt to reconfigure. It's a pain in the butt to add drivers into. So if you got some random device or something, it's just a pain, you know. But once you have it pre-configured, once you have it running smoothly, oh my gosh, man, it's so easy. Oh my gosh, it's so easy compared to having to manually get into the terminal and things like that in Linux and reset all these configurations and report the kernel. It's just a mess in Linux sometimes. So people rely mostly on pre-built operating systems and stuff. You know, almost nobody builds them themselves. So when there are problems like you load up one of the 351 emulation operating systems, and setting up scraping on a couple of them is horrendous.
Yeah, which Pegasus is so beautiful. And
Pegasus is great. It's once you get it set up.
Once you get it set up, you gotta hit your metadata. You gotta go scrape. You gotta go to Screen Scraper, make a little visit, make a little account, get all that set up. And some of the themes they're pretty cool. But we want to make it easier. We want to make this like a Nintendo Switch. You turn it on. You do need to go source your own games, just like you would on any other gaming device you might own. However you do that, that is up to you.
Legally dumped ROMs, wink.
Legally dumped ROMs. Just click a button, scrape. Even better yet, answer some questions. Let us ask you some questions at the beginning of the UI experience. You answer the questions, and depending on what you say, it goes through, it sets it up. It says, okay, now give me your ROMs. All right, cool. Here you go. Bam. Scraped. Boom. Play. Now
I want this to be a seamless setup. I want it to be for you to be able to add your ROMs, for you to be able to set up all your games, your interface, everything like that. I want you to be able to do that in 10 minutes maximum.
Yeah, and then you're up and running.
And you don't have to deal with it ever again.
And if you're okay with having online connectivity, well, you have a couple of extra features you can hop on.
Right.
You can add on cloud syncing and sync between your Google Drive or perhaps a personal drive. We're still figuring out.
What we're wanting to do with that is synchronize your save games and your settings for those games.
Yes, and BIOS files, because those are annoying.
Right. Especially if you have to dump them yourself. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink. It would be nice if there was a way to just have those built in, like some apps do.
So we essentially want to shout out
to my boy.
Essentially, we just want to set it up so it's easy. So you can log into your Google account and play your Play Store apps. And if you want, you can also sync your save games to your Google Drive,
Yeah.
Just for sake of ease.
Yeah. And while you're at it, why not keep your ROM collection synced between all of your various retro devices? Because we know you have more than one. I'm sure most people do. Now, some people don't. And some people don't want online connectivity.
I just replay ActRaiser all the time. I don't know what you're talking about.
That is an excellent game. ActRaiser 2 is a grind, though, man. It's way too hard.
Brutal.
You don't have the city sim part of it, though, which is nice.
I did not find it enjoyable. It's way too hard.
Yeah, it's no good. But really, cloud saving, syncing, and then, man, there are lots of other things we're chit-chatting about. And these are wish list. We need to figure out now how to make these things a reality. And when we run into roadblocks, luckily there's enough people in the community to tap on. We're sort of like, hey, we see you've done this in the past. Would you want to help us sort of accomplish this?
Yeah.
And just good response. So I think what we're saying here is we want to do 351 elec, but we want to do it on Android.
Right.
And
just like the other day,
we
were talking about the launcher for this. All right. We were talking about it and we were like, what we should just do? We should port Pegasus and LibRetro backend and smash them together,
Yeah.
And that's where we started. And then we had one of the community members who's been on the podcast before, Ryan.
86 me.
Yep. He came in and basically was like, oh, well, why don't we just build it in JavaScript? Let's build a new launcher.
Right.
It'll run natively without any compilation issues,
Right.
And it's like, oh, okay, well then we'll do that. So we're real modular about it. We're going with the flow on it. But man, we've got a good team already. And I'm really happy with how excited everybody is. And I think that the more this keeps going, the more people we get involved, the more excited people are going to get for it.
Absolutely. And what are we calling this thing? What is this thing?
We are calling the actual operating system, once it gets released, ACR OS. ACR as in the pantheon of gods from the Vikings. And the launcher itself, I believe that we've decided on Mjolnir, Thor's hammer, which I think is fun. So,
and you see why we have Thor in the Thor role. Let Thor's hammer strike you down with the very best.
With the best in gaming.
In emulation. And it won't just do retro either. It'll also do modern. It's just an all-around launcher, right?
Yeah.
So
it's an all-around launcher, just like you'd have any launcher replacements on Android, ATV launcher,
right.
Trebuchet if you use Lineage a lot, any of them. It works just like that. It'll have an app drawer. You'll be able to download your Play Store games and launch them from the same user interface that you're launching your ROMs from.
Fantastic.
Which I think half the retro gaming community around the world, if they just heard that, had a shattering orgasm. So,
could be. I mean, could be. And you've been doing an awesome job, just like bringing it every day, which stokes me to bring it from my end. And I don't know as much as you on the dev side, but I am trying to learn and understand. So
I'm definitely more on the operating system side. I'm on the foundational side, whereas people like Franco and Ricken, they're all
Hav.
And Hav, yeah, absolutely. Shout out Javi, baby. We love you.
We love Reset. Best scraping this side of the...
It really is.
Rio Grande.
It really is.
I don't know.
Even beyond the Rio Grande, I think.
Yeah, I was doing speed tests today, by the way, of scraping with 351 Elec, which talks to Screen Scraper.
Yeah.
Versus
Reset scraping it blows it out of the water.
Yeah, Reset's running circles around Screen Scraper. Yeah. So I don't know what you did there, buddy. But I won't ask you for your secret sauce because you got to feed your family.
That's right.
But you can give it if you really want to. You can tell us how you do it.
We're gonna get a DM later. It's just gonna say "fuck off." So
just a middle finger gif. We're like, I'll send you chocolates.
Yeah. We're trying to sort of reconsolidate this community. Let's get people together and let's get people
stuff.
talking. Let's get some shit
crazy. Done. So shit, what have you been playing or not playing this week?
Oh man, I've got to finish Atelier Ryza 2. All right,
tell me about it.
It's a little like slice of lifey fantasy JRPG. There's a battle system. There's a crafting system. There's a cutscene because it's a slice of life because it's so story based. There's a cutscene like every 4 fucking seconds.
Oh god,
where they're like sitting there in a mansion drinking tea and talking about how much they like each other or whatever. It sounds lame. It's super duper chill, especially coming off of the Demon Souls aggro that I finally have out of my life.
It reminds me of it kind of sounds like Rune Factory or Stardew Valley or something.
It's that level of chill, yeah. Nice. But it's a much higher quality game in my opinion because it's 3D, because it's a JRPG, and there's a huge list of games in this series. It's just nobody's really heard of them unless you've heard of them,
Right. And I played one of them. Was it Atelier Rorana? Rorana, it's a PS3 game.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you played an Atelier game. You never told me that.
Hell, I fuck with some shit. Let's just say I've dabbled in a little bit of everything in my life. It was. Take that how you will. It was at the time. I was like, "What is this? Like, this is like super weeb, just super out there." And I didn't quite connect, but I these days, I'm appreciating it more, especially with like games like Genshin Impact, where I'm like, oh, this is kind of a cool thing. And then I got more into like the Rune Factory series, and kind of I understand those types of games now. And I kind of classify them almost as shop sim games, where you kind of manage everything's kind of based around items.
Yeah, resource management. Yeah,
resource management. So,
but without the like RTS feel.
Yeah, and RTS is hard for me to get into. I'd say Tactics and maybe, what was that series on PSP? Disgaea, yeah. Those are the only really RTS games I've gotten into.
Well, I really liked the Disgaea games back in the day. I'm not really a huge fan of modern tactics games, though. I know it's probably because I'm getting older and I'm more impatient than ever. But God damn, those combat sections just take so long, man. Yeah. Holy crap.
Yeah, I mean, you could get hit by a lady trying to get to a wedding in the time that it takes to get through a battle. One of those games, man.
At least you weren't pulling the camper.
That's That's very true. We would have had no chance of stopping.
Perspective.
Like, it's true. I know. And Chthonics was just, when we got home, she was just like, man, if I had looked to my left for that split second or looked to my right, fucking dead. Yeah. Everybody. done. And it just kind of hit us like, wow. She had to.
Is that where
go
she
to the
is
store.
tonight? She's taking a minute to herself.
She's taken a minute. She went to the store, got us some Chinese food. I'm going to eat after the podcast.
Cool.
We're having a family weeding party tomorrow. So what by that I mean, we'll fucking get them blunts, the reefer. No, our weeds are out of control in our front yard and backyard. So
it's time for the girls to learn how to roll, right? Like,
yeah, we're gonna get the girls just heavy into just drugs and hard drugs tomorrow.
Right. That's the important part.
As is tradition. No, we just, our weeds are crazy right now. We haven't been paying attention. What with working 60 hours a week and then like retro emulation work 60 hours a week. So family's coming over tomorrow. We're going to drink some beers, eat some good food, and just weed. Like, I think I'm going to put war paint on my face and like hunt, because these weeds are as tall as I am now.
Oh, are they?
So I am going to hunt them down like the dogs they are, rip them out of the ground and say, no more, not today, weeds, not today. I don't know what happened.
What are you not playing to do that though? What's in your log right now that you should be playing instead of doing family bullshit, sinner?
Oh, fuck. Well, Dino Crisis, that was interrupted by near death. It's kind of, you know what? I'm not a big fan of that game. I'll just tell you that. I'll just tell you that.
I had a near-death experience. Fuck Dino Crisis, all right?
I was like, you know what? It's not all that in a bag of chips. Okay. It's Resident Evil. It's the Resident Evil 2 engine. The Resident Evil 2 engine with dinosaurs, and they make this terrible noise when you kill them. They just go, ah, ah. I'm like, oh my God, that sounds like someone strangling a puppy. So I have not been playing that, and I have been wanting to finish up the slog again that is Metal Gear Solid 5. Need to finish that. God, what else? Oh, we finally finished Bloodstained, which was a fantastic game.
I'm glad you finished that. That sounded like a good one.
That was a great Metroidvania. The game I have been playing, of course, I think I talked about this last time, is Valheim. Mm-hmm. Valheim is such a good Viking Norse game where you basically play in the afterlife, and you're one of the people who is chosen to survive, and so you would know more about this than me, but it's like the area between life and death when you're a Viking. Yeah. Like Ragnarok, you go to a place and you build some shit.
All right.
And you look up in the sky in this game and there's like this weird energy, like the Tesseract or I don't know what it is, going across the sky.
I don't think Marvel made this, man.
I don't know. But it's a really good game. It's like Rust. It's like survival, but really good multiplayer, and it's procedurally generated.
Oh, that's cool.
I recommend it. So that's the one I have been playing a little bit of with some buds. And
so a Rune themed Minecraft is what it sounds like.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it's very Minecrafty. Lots of runes. In fact, you got to find rune stones to unlock new features. And you got to fight these bosses, and it's very kind of MMO. It's the most MMO style game I've gotten into, I'd say. So
I'll get you into 14 eventually. I'll get you there.
I've played it.
I know, but I'll get you into it. I'll get you into it, though.
Yeah, triple triad. You got me sold. I love my mini
triple
games.
Triad.
Owning real estate.
There's a real estate sim. There's Mahjong. All right.
Here's what I feel about that. Like Mahjong. I love Mahjong, by the way. I feel like I missed my opportunity to hop on that. Like people who play that game now are so deep into it and know so much. Like if I start now, like it'll be like, I don't know. It'll be like an ant walking up a mountain, and all the bears, because the bears are back, they're going to stomp on me, and I'll just
Bienvenidos bears.
Yeah. I hate walking into something and just being an idiot at it.
Well, I mean, people have only been playing the game for 7 years. They only have a major story patch every 3 months for 7 years. So you're not that far behind. I mean,
Yeah, but they're gonna like
You know?
loot and plunder me, right? Because they're gonna take my chocobo.
No.
They're gonna take all my gil,
No,
and
it's 14. Nobody PvPs in that game.
nobody
gives a shit.
PvPs.
No.
What if I play cards with somebody and they wipe me clean and like take my best Ifrit card? Like
That's
what then?
That's a different currency.
Okay.
That's different. That's different money. That's not real money.
Okay. All right.
Don't
All
worry
right.
about
All
it.
right. All right.
All I'm saying
Okay.
is that there's a
Okay.
really solid joke right now that the high tier raiders, right? The savage tier raiders that are doing like the impossible content and shit like that are only doing it so they can get flex glams for playing mahjong. All right. So
Smoke weed every day. That sounds good. I hope to.
we'll
I'll
get them
try
in
it.
there.
You know what? I'll try it out again. I'm about
do
to watch
need-
the show that you recommended to me, Heather's. By the way, I'm about
Oh
to
my
throw that on.
gosh, it's so offensive. Enjoy that.
I plan to, but I ran into a little dilemma. Thor,
What?
thanks. So now I have this one-off TV show on my computer where I'm like, how am I going to host and have metadata for this and enjoy it fully? Guess I'm going to have to get my Plex server back up and running. And
Right.
you know what rabbit hole that led me down? Realizing my NAS, TerraMaster NAS is just fried. I figure, it's got fried in a power outage. I guess I better buy the best new Synology Master NAS ever and
Don't you
just
have a
get the
shield?
whole thing going. Oh yeah, I have a shield, and I have external hard drives and all that. But I'm just OCD. So I'm looking at NASs. I'm looking at what I can do. I'm like, I'm going to build a beast. Here we go, so I can watch this one TV show.
Just so everybody knows, all right, he's like feigning a pained look on his face right now, but this is his shit, all right? Nobody's twisting his arm to get a Synology like rack mount NAS with transcoding, okay? Nobody's twisting his fucking arm, all right? He's doing it because he wants to.
I got transcoding. Let me tell you.
I know you did. I know you did. Because I know you did, all right?
Yeah, I got transcoding. I did not. Guess what, though? Guess what? I held back.
What?
So I was like, you know what? I owe the government a lot of money because the Trump era. So... So I need to pay my taxes this year, and I'm not going to spend money. So I went and I pulled out my NAS, my four bay TerraMaster NAS, and I'm like, all right, what's wrong with this thing? Boot it up, and I'm like, it doesn't talk on the network. That's weird. Delve in a little bit more.
NAS, yeah,
it's kind of weird, and I realized, oh right, I got my 6G or fucking Wi-Fi 6 router a few months back, which has a different subnet than my Comcast one. All I got to do is download the software. It'll talk directly to the NAS, change the IP address to my subnet. Boom, it worked. Then I had to, reconfigure it. Anyways, I have Plex up and running now, and I'm going to watch Heather's.
to watch one show.
Got to do it right, man. Got to do it right.
Oh my gosh.
I'm metadata. I'm scraping everything.
Such scrape.
So what were you going to say? I interrupted you like 10 minutes ago.
Fuck if
Doesn't
I
matter.
know, dude. I know. I was going to smoothly transition us into talking about modern games after you brought them up. All right. In that Returnal for the PS5 just came out.
Right. Oh yeah.
The roguelike die and repeat thing. Yeah. And then we've got Vampire Mommy Milkers coming out. Resident Evil 8.
Mommy Milkers. Our MILF, which is a rune in Norse, by the way.
Our MILF.
Our MILF. Our MILF.
I showed you that.
Leica, which means like game
and play.
Game and play.
Yeah. So we've got Resident Evil 8 coming out. Man, I'm not a huge like horror game guy. I don't know about you, but there's something about the PS5. This thing looks terrifying. All right. Yep. I'm very excited for it.
I'm looking at this now. This game looks pretty sweet. It came out, just a couple days ago.
You're talking about Returnal?
Yesterday. Yeah, you're right.
Yes.
And Resident Evil 8 will be interesting. It's rest in peace to the young lady who died of, I think, colon cancer.
The voice actress.
The big
one
mommy.
of the daughters. I think it was one of the
Jesus.
daughters.
Oh, one of the daughters. Okay, so Big Mommy is still okay. So we can have her for another game.
Potentially. We should try to get on the podcast. Talk to her how she feels about...
You know what? It's about time we had a guest in here again, and we should get Big Mommy on the podcast.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Big Mommy will be the name of the next episode. You guys will never hear the original episode that actually had us talking about this game.
Oh my gosh. Maybe it was better that episode got buried.
It's true. We got very excited. We got overly amped up, and it's fine.
Sexy vampires.
You know? Final thought, though. Final Fantasy 14, ultimate goal. Let's get it running. Let's get through streaming or some way, probably through streaming. Gosh. Get it running on one of these devices, because shout out to your Final Fantasy 14 group members, by the way, who I hear listen to the show.
They do, actually.
What are they called? Free company?
Yeah, our free company. We're called
Free Company.
Normal People.
Normal People.
So our little free company tag, our guild tag says nope.
Nope. I love that. Free Company. I salute you all. You're doing God's work out there.
I'll be wine, Berta. I love you guys.
I love you. I love you guys too. Please, please, please get some good triple triad cards for when I play the game. If I can please trade with you, I want to get some good ones off the bat. You can have my house. I hear there's real estate and like all this stuff. Like you can have the shirt off my back, which I'm sure is worth nothing to you. But I just want some triple triad cards. So
we'll help you get some cards. We'll help you.
Show me the way. I just need someone to guide me. I need to be mentored. I need to be mentored if I'm to pick up this behemoth.
He's going to get about 3 days into it and realize why we stay away from certain areas in the game.
Yeah.
It's because there are cat boys that have sex in the game.
Hey, those are my people.
Those are my people. Those are my people.
That's
the sexy
my
cat
whole
boys.
religion.
Those are my people. Oh my gosh.
It's my whole
sexy cat boys are my religion. There's the episode title.
Did you say sexy cowboys or cat boys?
Cat boys.
Cat boys.
Yes.
Okay. Sexy cat boys are my religion. You know, I saw a sexy cat boy earlier today, by the way. He was a little fluffer. His name was
Portland.
His name is Ollie. He was a cutie, and he had a tag, and it said, "My name's Ollie. Please return me to my owner." And I was like, "You're a good kitty. Don't come around here, though. I don't want a cat. Cats have litter boxes, and those stink like shit." So
yeah.
But then his owner came up, and she was a little girl. She's like, "That's my kitty," and I'm like, "Here you go." Sorry
this
about
filthy
that.
Beast out of here.
Filthy beast. But if we can hybrid him with a human, we can put him in Final Fantasy 14, and then he could be sexy cat boy.
That's right.
1769 XX. Probably someone's name on there.
I got to hold back on this one because this one gets weird, and people will unsubscribe if I go too deep into that.
I'll just edit it out. And I did. You're welcome, Thor.
Anyway, thanks for stopping in with us again, guys. Look forward to us keeping everybody updated on this podcast with things we've got coming for the community.
Mm-hmm.
Check us out at our newly reworked Retro Handheld server, which we'll leave links in the description.
Retro Handhelds, your one-stop shop for retro emulation and beyond.
Ooh.
My name is Stubborn Pixel.
And I'm Thor. Bye.